Hello, everyone. You're listening to Baby Steps, sponsored by Oxford and Soho Baby, a podcast dedicated to exploring the personal and emotional journeys of parenting. I'm your host. My name is Medea. Today I have Kristen, lifestyle content creator and mother of four. Kristen, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Of course. We're going to start with something called the Fast Five, where I ask you five questions back to back and you answer with the first thing that comes to your head.
Oh, okay.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Okay, biggest pregnancy craving.
Oh, so I have four kids and all of them have been a little different. So for my first pregnancy, I craved ice cream, specifically Dairy Queen ice cream with the Reese's Blizzard.
Oh my God, that's
Second
my
one,
favorite.
I craved that too much. And then for my second pregnancy, I craved oranges.
Oh, okay, switch up.
Yeah, like the clementines, the little mini oranges,
Okay.
which a little healthier, so that was good.
Mm-hmm.
And then for my third pregnancy, which is twins, I guess that so I've had three pregnancies, four kids, three pregnancies, and that
Okay.
one I craved very specific. It was tomato, mozzarella cheese, basil with like the balsamic oil on top.
Whoa.
I
Okay,
know it had to
that
be that too, but that was a big craving of mine for that one.
wow, that's very specific, but that
It
sounds really
was.
good.
Yeah, it was good.
Wow. Okay. Which is worse? You run out of diapers or you run out of wipes?
Ooh, diapers. Definitely diapers.
True, because you can turn
Yeah,
anything into a wipe.
right. Yeah, I mean, I think I've had to do that before,
Yeah.
which it's easier. Yeah.
One word to describe labor and one word to describe parenthood.
One word to describe labor was powerful.
Powerful.
Yeah,
I love
powerful.
it.
And then to describe parenting, oh, that's a good one. There's so many words I could come up with for parenting. I would say enjoyable.
Enjoyable.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
those are really good words.
Yeah.
Favorite baby product you can't live without.
Oh, okay. So honestly, if we're not talking twin specific, for all of my kids, all four of them, I used the baby owlet, the owlet sock monitor that tracks their oxygen and their pulse and all of that while they're sleeping. That was like, I couldn't have lived without that. I
Okay, it's
bought
called
that.
the
I bought that for all of them.
okay, so it's called the baby owlet.
So it's the Owlet Smart Sock. So it's
Okay.
a sock that they wear for sleeping at night, and it tracks like everything, like their heart rate, and it like alerts you if anything was off. That was out for my first son. I bought it for him, and then I bought one for my daughter. And then when we had the twins, I bought that. They're not the cheapest, but to me, they were worth it. It just gave me so much peace of mind at night.
Yeah, that's really good because you can track them 24/7, make sure everything's okay.
Yeah, I couldn't have lived without those. And my boys just outgrew theirs because it's up to 18 months and they just turned 19 months. So it's been hard to not have it, but they're big enough now. But yeah, that is definitely my number one go to like baby product for sure.
Okay, that's interesting. I don't
Yeah.
think I've heard of that.
Yeah, we love it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And then last one, most unexpected joy of motherhood.
Ooh, I like that one. I think that the most unexpected was how much the kids actually teach me. So, as a parent, you are their teachers, but your kids are actually teaching you just as much as you're teaching them. Every day, I feel like I learn something new, and that's just maybe like patience or that. But now I have a 9-year-old, so he's actually teaching me like legit things that he learns at school or like specific things about the ocean. I don't know, just it's really cool to have your kids actually teach you something.
Yeah, because they absorb, especially when they're young,
So
they absorb
much.
everything
Yes.
and then they
Yeah.
relay it. So yeah,
Yeah.
they're going to be teaching you so much.
Yeah. So I think that's an unexpected thing that I just love is them teaching me things too.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Now on to the questions.
Okay.
What were some of the most memorable moments during your pregnancy?
Oh, so all of my pregnancies were a little bit different, but for my first one, obviously everything is just new. So the kicks, the just everything. I just like soaked in everything with the first one. I loved the baby kicks, all the ultrasounds you got to see, just every moment. Like I looked forward to every single appointment when we got to like hear the heartbeat. I actually ordered like one of those heartbeat things where you could like do it yourself, and I would do that all the time. So I loved doing that. For my second one, I had that one was a little bit, that pregnancy flew by because I had a toddler at the time. So my first two are only 19 months apart. So
Oh, wow.
I was pregnant at like my first one turned a year, and then I was pregnant again with my second, and chasing a toddler around, it was a little different.
Hmm.
So that pregnancy flew by, but same things. I mean, that pregnancy went great. I loved all the same things, the kicks, all of that, but it did get a little rough at the end chasing a toddler and being 9 months pregnant. But
Yeah, I can't imagine.
yeah, but then we took a pretty big break, and my third pregnancy was my oldest one, or my youngest one was 6 at the time, so it was 6 years later.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's when we had the twins. And that pregnancy for twins was good until we got to the like the ninth month, and then that was rough.
Oh my gosh, why
Just
was it rough?
uncomfortable. Just they were big boys, and I was super uncomfortable, but I was very blessed to make it to 37 weeks with them and have them. But twin pregnancy was a whole lot different than a singleton for sure.
Yeah, did you know they were twins like early on, or did you find out later?
So we found out at the 12-week ultrasound that they were twins. I didn't get an ultrasound with that pregnancy until I was 12 weeks. And so I had no idea it was twins. It was a pretty big shock.
Yeah, what was your reaction?
Well, the funny thing is, I was like, told my husband, I'm like, you know what, you don't even need to go to this appointment. Like, we've done this before. It's just they're gonna check, and I'll send you the pictures, and everything will be fine. Well, he happened to have off work that day for, I'm not sure why, but he was off of work. So he's like, I might as well go with you. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. We'll go. So our other two were in school at the time, and we went to this ultrasound, or it was like the first appointment, and the doctor came in. He's like, all right, let's just, check for heartbeat, but we're going to do a quick ultrasound just to kind of do measuring and see how far along you really are. So as soon as he turned the screen towards him first, so I couldn't see anything, and I saw his face, and it kind of looked a little like shocking, and I instantly, my heart dropped, like, oh no, something's wrong. And he slowly turns the screen towards me, and I see like instantly, I see like two little babies swimming around in there, and I'm like, is that two? And he was like, yeah, and it's identical, because they were in like the same placenta. And they're like, you have identical twins. And it was, I think, me, my husband, and the doctor. I think I laughed for like 5 minutes, like the shock of it. And
Yeah.
then the reality of like, okay, how's this all going to work? What's the difference between a singleton pregnancy and a twin pregnancy, and that they're identical? And so yeah, it was funny, but totally, like, it was meant to be for sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what is the difference between a single and twin pregnancy?
So a lot more monitoring. So for me, they were identical. And at first, they didn't see, it's very specific. I learned a lot about twin pregnancy when I got pregnant with twins. I didn't know anything prior to, but so they shared a placenta, which means that they were identical. Like that's how you know right away is they shared the placenta. And then in most pregnancies, they're like this membrane that separates them so that they can't like connect. But in some pregnancies, there's no membrane between them. Well, mine ended up having a membrane between them, which was a good thing because that's less monitoring, but it's still considered high risk. So mine are called Mo-Di twins. I'm not exactly sure what the Mo and the Di stand for. It's some fancy word, but yeah, they required a lot more monitoring. So I had ultrasounds very often with them. They would check fluid levels, because with identical twins, they can like have like they can like one can like suck the nutrients from the other because they share everything. But I was super, super blessed to have a very, very uneventful twin pregnancy. I mean, every ultrasound went well. I ended up having to get induced with them. And I was 37 weeks in one day, which is completely full term for twins. And everything went well. But I would say the difference would be the monitoring and definitely how uncomfortable I was towards the end just carrying two babies. I mean, it was to the point where I was like, this, I need to get them out of here.
Yeah, I literally can't imagine having two
Yeah.
babies inside
And
me.
they were big. They weren't little babies. They were 7 pounds each. Yeah,
Wow.
so big, healthy boys, which I'm very thankful for, but they were heavy to carry.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So really just the end was bad.
Yeah, I would say the end. Like I said, I know a lot of twin pregnancies have a lot of complications and stuff, and I'm very thankful that mine was very smooth as far as like all the ultrasounds went well, because I know some can be scary, but it was more just the uncomfortableness at the end that really got to me. But yeah.
Yeah, wow. What was the most surprising part of pregnancy or birth that no one warned you about?
So, this is kind of so with my first, I ended up having an injury happen to me during birth. Very rare. So it's a separation of your pubic symphysis. So in my first pregnancy, I had my water broke. It all happened very easy. We went to the hospital. They My contractions started very quickly, and I was able to start laboring within, like, I would say, like 6 hours of being there. So pretty fast for my first pregnancy. And I had an epidural, so I couldn't feel anything, obviously. And after I had him, my epidural wore off, and I felt like a pain in my stomach, which obviously I'm like, okay, I just birthed the baby. Of course, I'm going to have a pain in my stomach. Well, after getting sent home, I still had this like really agonizing pain in my stomach where I could like barely walk, and ended up needing to get an x-ray. And I had a separation of your pubic symphysis, which is like a little ligament between your pubic bones. And mine ended up separating and staying there when it's very normal for it to separate during like labor, but it's supposed to go back into place. And mine never did. So I had to do a lot of physical therapy for that and a lot of like healing when it came to that. And I never even knew that was a thing.
Yeah,
And
I didn't either.
yeah, it's not very common, but it's very brushed off too because it is very uncommon. So I ended up speaking to like a lot of physical therapists that knew a lot about it, and we did like a lot of pelvic floor therapy and stuff, and we healed it like naturally. I didn't need surgery. I had consultations for surgery and never ended up needing it, which is super good. But yeah, that was just something that was very unexpected, and I didn't know anything about it or that it could happen. And so now like I do try to like raise awareness about it and tell people, because there are ways that you can like help try to prevent it or stuff. And so I made sure when I had my second, we did, some of the precautions to help that not happen again.
Yeah, so how do you prevent it?
So one thing is when you have the epidural, obviously you can't feel everything. Everything is numb. So when you're up on the stirrups, like with your legs, separating your legs past like the point to where they shouldn't be, like how they kind of say like pull on the knees and pull back, it's actually you shouldn't be pulling as hard as you can, because that kind of can cause a separation because it's not natural and you can't feel. Laboring on all fours if you can, that's super helpful. And obviously that's only usually you can only usually do that if you don't get an epidural. I got an epidural for my second. I just was very cautious on like the separation of the legs and just not overextending anything. And I got a very low dose of like the epidural, so I could still like feel pressure and feel, and like I wasn't completely numb, which was
Mhm.
helpful too. So I ended up having my daughter, and everything was fine with no repeat injury, and everything was good. And then same with the twins. I ended up getting a C-section with them, so a little different, but everything was good with them too.
Okay, you got lucky because I feel like if it separates once, it's probably more likely that it would separate again. Is that true?
Yeah, in a sense it could, but from what I've learned too is that actually it's like ligament there. And once that separates, you kind of don't get it back. It just forms scar tissue.
Oh,
So
okay.
the scar tissue formed, and yes, you could like re-injure it or like hurt it again. But I was lucky and I didn't have any injury or any issues with it. So yeah,
Okay.
sorry, that was kind of a longer story than I expected for my unexpected pregnancy symptom, but that is definitely one that was very unexpected.
Yeah, that's interesting, and people should know
Yeah,
about that. I truly have
yeah,
never heard of it.
yeah, and it's called the I'm sorry, it's been so long, pubic diastasis separation. So that's like
Okay.
the technical form of it. So yeah, not to like scare anybody because like I said, it's very, very rare, but it's also something that happens to women, and a lot of people, women get brushed off after that, though, that the guy got told, oh, this is just normal pregnancy, like after birth symptoms, and it's okay. And after like a week, I'm like, okay, I should be able to walk normal and be able to like pick up my baby without pain. And that wasn't happening. So that's when I was like, I need to get an x-ray and see what's going on. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
it happens.
Okay, so to prevent it, you have a lower dose of epidural. You
Or none at
don't.
all if you are super brave.
Okay, so none at all, or
Yeah.
a little.
Yeah.
And then when you're pushing, you don't keep your legs as far apart.
Right. And then like there's like the method where they kind of like pull back on your legs, or a lot of times you'll see like your husband, which in my first one, your husband and like maybe your other support person, like another nurse or something, pulling back on your knees to like help the baby come out, which makes sense. Like when you think about it, like, yeah, that'll help the baby naturally come out. But it's also pulling your legs past a point of like hyperextension where that can cause an injury. And when you can't feel it, like you
Mm-hmm.
when you are numb down there, you have no idea, like, oh, that's painful, like, stop there. It's your body's
Yeah.
naturally not supposed to go that far. So for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is good for listeners to know,
Yeah.
just in
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, for sure.
Moving on to the postpartum period, what surprised you most about it?
Ooh, postpartum, all the hormones, you know, the night sweats, the your just hormones getting released. For me actually, I didn't have any swelling during my pregnancies. Like I didn't get the swollen feet or this. I never had to take off like my rings, but mine all happened after pregnancy. So I would get very swollen ankles after pregnancy. My fingers would get swollen, and that was I think just from all the water and the retention trying to like leave my body. But for some reason, I didn't swell during pregnancy. I swelled after pregnancy. So I had to wear like compression socks for my ankles and stuff. And then, like I said, the night sweats, the random little crying episodes of like you're so happy, but you're also like sad for no reason, like the baby blues,
Yeah.
all the hormone changes. You think that most of your hormone changes would happen during pregnancy, but I feel like it's worse after pregnancy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense because your
Yeah.
hormones are still so out of whack and
Yeah.
they're
And they
getting
take
back to
a while
normal.
to go back to normal, especially if you nurse. And I mean, I nurse, I still am nursing my twins, and they're 19 months, and your hormones just are all out of whack for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm.
What's been your biggest, I have no idea what I'm doing moment so far?
Ooh, no idea what I'm doing. Twins, just in general. Twins, like you think you're prepared. I'm like, I'm a mom. I've had kids before, but twins just I'm thankful for my motherhood experience before having twins. I give so much credit to those who had twins first because I feel like that would be a lot harder. I at least have like experience of being a mom. I know everything's a phase. I know that kind of what to expect. So like having twins, being a second time mom or a third time mom, I should say, prepared me a little bit, but just having twins and like double and the sleep thing, trying to figure out how they sleep together in the same room without waking each other up, and just those kinds of things. Just navigating twin life has been kind of well, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I got to figure it out.
Yeah, with the sleep, how did you get them to sleep at the same time?
So I just try to keep them on the same schedule. Like if one would wake up, I'd wake up the other one and feed them, and I would put them down at the same time. So like even like if one woke up and just ate, I would within like 15 minutes wake up the other one so that they would stay on the same schedule. And now it's paid off. At 19 months, they pretty much sleep through each other's like little noises. They like talk, like make little noises when they go to sleep, or even if they wake up in the middle of the night, like crying, the other one stays sleeping. They've kind of just learned to like almost like each other's noises. I feel like they like are comforted by each other. So in the beginning days though, it was hard and we just had to like stick with like a routine and try and keep them on the same schedule. And then now they just kind of sleep and do the same things at the same time.
Wow, yeah, I guess at
Yeah.
some point you get used to it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think that they find comfort in each other now. Like they now can stand up in their cribs. So they like stand up and look at each other and like know each other's there. And then they'll like lay down. It's really cute to watch them on the monitor and like watch what they do now and like babble at each other.
Yeah, having twins is special because they're gonna have such a close bond throughout their
Oh
whole
yeah.
life.
Yes. I know. I love watching it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Final question.
Okay.
What advice would you give to parents listening right now?
Um, my biggest advice would be everything in motherhood is like a phase. So, like, even the hard moments, like the sleep regressions, the tantrums, everything is a phase and you'll get over it. You'll get over that hump. You'll and on to the next one, the next challenge. But everything is a phase and to try to really like live in the moment and enjoy it and know that those hard moments aren't going to last forever.
That's beautiful. Yeah, everything's a season.
Yes, for sure. Yes.
That's all we have for today. Listeners, thank you for tuning in. Kristen, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Of course. You've been listening to Baby Steps, sponsored by Oxford and Soho Baby. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.